pleasant day, everyone.
A pleasant day, everyone.
Pleasant day, everyone.
I am Christian Davido.
So I am Arishri B. Itali. And
And
our
our
group
group
topic is all about the topical agent.
And I will report the subtopic all about the protective agents and sclerosing agents.
And I will report the subtopic all about antimicrobials.
I will report the subtopic is all about the astringent. So our topic is all about the topical agents. So for the objectives, to identify the importance and uses of different kinds of topical protective agents, to know the importance and main use of topical agents, to identify the role and importance of antimicrobials, to know the difference between antimicrobial and antibiotic, to understand the meaning of estrogens, to evaluate the effects and uses of estrogens, and to break down the different agents of estrogens. So for the topical agent, a topical medicine is one that is applied to a specific location on or within the body. So it may be applied in our hands, in our face, and etc. Topical administration refers to the application of medication to body surface such as skin or mucous membranes in the form of creams, foams, gels, lotions, and ointments. So our topical agent can be used to treat pain or other problem in specific parts of our body. So topical medication can also be used to nourish skin and protect it from harm. So these are the following topical agents: protective agents, astringents, and antimicrobials and scouring agents.
Topical protective agents are synthetic or natural substances given to avoid disease or disorder. Is a type of agent that cover and protects the skin or mucous membrane from possible irritations or any irritants. So these are the following involved in protective agents: the talc, calamine, zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, zinc cerate, and the silicon polymers. First is the talc. Talc is known as the softest mineral and can be found in number of consumer and industrial goods. It is also mineral found in underground clay deposits. The other term for talc is talcum, purified talcum, or French chalk, and this is the chemical formula of talc, 3MgO4SiO2H2O. And the properties or the physical characteristics of talc: it is odorless, tasteless, white crystalline powder, and insoluble in dilute acid. So when we say dilute acid, these are the water with lower concentration, for example, the hydrochloric acid. And the primary use of talc, it is for filtering aid. Filtering aid, this consists of solid particles that improves in filtering efficiency. The use of talc is also for lubricants. Lubricants is used to control friction and wear of the surfaces in a contact of the bodies in the relative motion, and also used in dusting powder and preparation of talcum powder. Next is the calamine. Calamine is anti-itch drug that relieves itching by cooling the skin as it evaporates. It is a topical for skin and used to treat itching and skin irritation caused by chickenpox and any irritations. Chemical formula: this is the mixture of zinc oxide and ferric oxide. The properties or the physical characteristic of calamine: it is odorless, tasteless, pink-colored powder, and soluble in mineral acid. So mineral acid, these are commonly known as, for example, of sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, that tend to be very soluble in water and insoluble in organic solvents. It is also the primary use of calamine. It is for antiseptics, eliminate the bacteria in humans, mild astringents, It is also preparation in lotion and ointments, and also used in dusting powder. Next one is the zinc oxide. The zinc oxide is used to treat diaper rash and other mild skin irritation. It also protects the skin from irritants and moisture by creating a barrier on the surface. This is the chemical formula, ZnO. And the characteristics of the zinc oxide: first, the physical properties, which is odorless, tasteless, and it is white colored powder. And the chemical properties of zinc oxide: it reacts with sulfuric acid, forms zinc sulfate, and also it reacts with sodium hydroxide and gives disodium zinc dioxide. And the primary use of zinc oxide is for the manufacture of bandages and adhesive tapes, also astringent and as mild antiseptic. Next is the titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is naturally opaque and bright, which make it useful for use in paper, ceramics, rubber, textiles, paints, and cosmetics. Titanium dioxide is also used in variety of beauty or personal care products. So the other term for titanium dioxide is titanium oxide. Titanium dioxide properties or the physical characteristic: it is white colored powder, tasteless, odorless, insoluble in water, and soluble in hot sulfuric acid. And the primary use of titanium dioxide: it is used in paints, preparation of skin protective creams or known as sunscreens. It is also used in cosmetics and protective agent and a topical agent. Next is a zinc cerate. It is a white hydrophobic powder with a mild distinctive odor. And the chemical formula is combination of zinc sulfate and a zinc cerate. The main properties or the physical characteristic of zinc cerate: it is aqueous solution, is neutral, means that the mixtures of water and other chemical compounds with a pH near 7 or near number 7, and it is insoluble in alcohol, ether, and it is soluble in mineral acids, insoluble in water, and it has a faint characteristic odor. When we say faint characteristic odor, it has a bleach or faded or faltering kind of odor. And the primary use of zinc cerate: it is a lubricant in tablet manufacturing, mild astringents. It is also preparation for ointments, used in dusting powder, protective agent, and a topical agent. Lastly is the silicon polymers. It is more properly called as polysiloxanes and do not have carbon as part of the backbone structure. There are two types, known as dimethicone, which is polymer that used in beauty products and gives an incredibly formula, and disimethicone is used to relieve the painful symptoms caused of too much gas in the stomach and intestines. First is dimethicone. The properties of dimethicone: it is clear colorless oil, odorless, insoluble in water, insoluble in alcohol, soluble in ether, and it has a low surface tension, means that the object that will encounter has more resistance while passing through the surface membrane of a liquid than through the bulk of the liquid. And the primary use of dimethicone: it is a topical agent, water protective agent, for ointment, lotion, and creams. Next is the simethicone. The properties of simethicone: it is light gray colored oil, it is odorless, insoluble in water, insoluble in alcohol, soluble in ether, and also it has low surface hypertension. And the primary use of simethicone, it is a topical agent. Anti-flatulent means that it is an anti-foaming agent, such as a part of simethicone that taken orally. It is also antacid preparation, and antispasmodic preparation means that it is a medication that relieves and lowers the incidence of muscle spasms, especially those of smooth muscles such as in the bowel wall. And it is also a sedative preparation. So the sedative preparation, this includes the barbiturates, the opioids, and sleep-inducing drugs such as zolpidem. And these are drugs that usually in the form of pill or liquid.
An antimicrobials is an agent that kills microorganisms or stop their growth. Antimicrobial medicine can be grouped according to the microorganisms they act primarily against. For example, antibiotics are used against bacteria, and antifungals are used against fungi. Antimicrobial drugs are chemical substances of natural or synthetic origin that suppress the growth of or destroy microorganisms including bacteria, fungi, helminths, protozoa, and viruses. So these are the following examples of antimicrobial agents. We have penicillin, aminoglycosides, ofloxacin, bacteriostatic antibiotics. Penicillins are a group of antimicrobial drugs that attack a wide range of bacteria. They were the first drugs of this type that doctors used. The discovery of manufacture of penicillins have changed the face of medicine. As these drugs have saved millions of lives, it is used to treat certain infections caused by bacteria such as pneumonia and other respiratory tract infections, scarlet fever, and ear, skin, gum, mouth, and throat infections. Penicillins are optically active, soluble in water, acid resistant, hydrolyzed by hot inorganic acid, effective in treatment of respiratory tract infection. Aminoglycosides are a class of antibiotics used to treat serious infections caused by bacteria that either multiply very quickly or are difficult to treat. Aminoglycosides are called bactericidal antibiotics because they kill bacteria directly. Aminoglycosides are used in the treatment of severe infections of the abdomen and urinary tract, as well as bacteremia and endocarditis. They are also used for prophylaxis, especially against endocarditis. So, aminoglycosides are highly water-soluble, excreted unchanged in urine. Bactericidal inhibit protein synthesis, active against gram-negative bacteria, resemble each other in PK, therapeutic, and toxic properties. Ofloxacin is a quinolone antibiotic useful for the treatment of a number of bacterial infections. When taken by mouth or injection into a vein, these include pneumonia, cellulitis, urinary tract infections, prostatitis, plague, and certain types of infectious diarrhea. So, ofloxacin is slightly soluble in water, in anti-infective agent, carrying carboxy, and bacterial topoisomerase. And last, bacteriostatic antibiotics. So it is used to limit the growth of bacteria by interfering with bacterial protein production, DNA replication, or other aspects of bacterial cellular metabolism. Bacteriostatic antibiotics includes tetracyclines, are a class of antibiotics that may be used to treat infections caused by susceptible microorganisms such as gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, Chlamydia, Mycoplasmata, protozoans, and Rickettsia. Second, sulfonamides are a group of medicine used to treat bacterial infections. They may be prescribed to treat urinary tract infections or UTI, bronchitis, eye infections, bacterial meningitis, pneumonia, ear infections, severe burn, and other conditions. Spectinomycin, or for injectable suspension, is an antibiotic used to treat gonorrhea. Trimotropin is an antibiotic used to treat bacterial infections. It works also by stopping the growth of bacteria. And chloramphenicol is an antibiotic used for the treatment of a number of bacterial infections. This includes the use as an eye ointment to treat conjunctivitis, and by mouth or by injection into a vein. It is used to treat meningitis, plague cholera, and typhoid fever. So we have antimicrobials and antibiotics. Antimicrobials refer to a group of agents that share the common aim of reducing the possibility of infection and sepsis. Antibiotics are often derived from molds or are made synthetically and are absorbed into the body with the aim of killing bacteria or preventing their multiplication.
Good day everyone. So today I'm going to discuss to you the meaning of the estrogens, its uses, its effects, and the other different example of the estrogens agent. So first, let's discuss the meaning of the estrogens. So the word estrogens derived from the Latin astinger, meaning to bind fast. So estrogen is a drug that reacts chemically with the cellular proteins, including proteins producing limited coagulation, which is accompanied with the shrinking of body tissues. Or in a simple word, estrogens is a substance causes the skins or other tissues to tighten. So nowadays, most people use estrogens as part of their skincare. Estrogens is like a toner, but we need to remember that even though both of them formulated to remove excess oil from the skin, but the estrogens is a stronger form of a toner, since estrogens are more likely to contain a higher concentration of alcohol, since estrogens is a alcoholic base. So this is some of the example of the estrogens found here in our country. Next, the action and uses of the estrogens. So estrogens form a protective layer, so it prevents a irritation. So estrogen is a local hemostatic action, that means it's control bleeding, it reduces inflammations, it prevents the oxidation from capillaries. So it reduces sweating, or it have a antiperspirant action. When we say antiperspirant, so it protect us against the sweat or odor. So next is the adverse effect of the estrogens. So many estrogens or irritants are caustic in high doses. Since our estrogens is a alcoholic base, so it can cause a redness, pain, and ulceration in our skin. So next is, these are the following example of the estrogens agents. So the alum, potassium alum, zinc sulfate, and aluminum sulfate. So alum is a natural occurring ingredient that is considered to be a good for tightening the skin. So it has an estrogen property that causes the cells to shrink and remove excess oil from the skin. So this is the chemical formula of the alum. And the most common product na makikita sa Philippines which have a alum is what we call tawas. So the tawas is used for the irritated skin disorder when we experience an excessive sweating in our hands or in our feet. So the physical properties of alum are the following. So it is a transparent crystal, colorless, soluble in water, but alum is insoluble in alcohol. And for the chemical properties, it is dehydrated at high temperature. For its uses, so the alum is used as a pharmaceutical aid, as an astringent, styptic. When we say styptic, for example, if we experience a minor bleeding, so we can use a alum to constrict or stop the flow of the blood. So it is for the preparation of bacteria and tetanus toxoid and antiperspirant. When we say antiperspirant, so it protects against sweat and odor. So next is the potash alums. It uses a deodorant as an aftershave treatment. We use potash alum, for example, we shave our underarms and then it causes a minor bleeding. So we can use a potash alum to reduce and stop the minor bleeding. So the synonyms of the potash alum are potash alum, aluminum potassium sulfate. So this is the chemical formula for the potash alum. So potash alum physical properties are the following. So it occurs as large or a colorless crystal. It is odorless. Its solution is as acidic to litmus. So it melts at about 200 degrees Celsius. It's soluble in water but it is insoluble in alcohol. So the chemical properties of potash alum is that it loses all water of crystallization and forms anhydrous alum on heating. So for the uses, alum is used as a pharmaceutical aid. Alum precipitates proteins and act as a powerful astringent. In addition, its dilute solution is used as mouthwash and gargle, but they have a destructive action on teeth. Antiseptic, it is used as a bladder irritant and for hyperhidrosis. And lastly, it is a strong solution. It is a strong solution because it contains 5 to 10%, so it is used to harden the skin of the athlete. Next is the zinc sulfate. So it is used as dietary supplement to treat zinc deficiency and to prevent the condition in those at high risk. So zinc is beneficial for inflammatory acne and related scarring. So this is an example of the zinc sulfate. So synonym of the zinc sulfate is white vitriol, and this is the chemical formula of the zinc sulfate. So the zinc sulfate is odorless in nature and metallic taste. It occurs as a colorless transparent crystal having a needle or prismatic shape. So it is soluble in water and glycerin but insoluble in alcohol. And its aqueous solution is acidic to litmus. So for the chemical properties, it is reported to form double salt with potassium ammonium sulfate. For the uses of zinc sulfate are the following. So in medicine, it is used together with oral rehydration therapy. So it is used as a zinc supplement. It's also as an astringent. So zinc sulfate acts as emetic. And when you say emetic, it is a medicine or potion that make us to vomit. So it might be given to a person who have taken a poison or some harmful substances. And it's also an antiseptic or antimicrobial. Next is the aluminum sulfate. So the aluminum sulfate induces the tightening or tingling sensation of the skin. It also draws together or constrict body tissues, which are effective in the flow of blood or other secretion. So this is the example of the aluminum sulfate. And this is the chemical formula of the aluminum sulfate. For the aluminum sulfate is a white crystalline powder. It is a colorless. The aqueous solution is acidic. It is soluble in water, but the aluminum sulfate is insoluble in alcohol. For the chemical properties, aluminum sulfate is dehydrated at high temperature. For the uses, it is a local antiperspirant. When we say local perspirant, so it protects us against the sweat and odor. Next is the astringents, and the aluminum sulfate is used for water purification. So that's the end of my report.
Necrosing agent. These are the substances that cause a marked tissue irritation with local inflammation and tissue necrosis resulting in fibrosis and tissue contraction. The term to be remembered is the sclerosis and sclerotherapy. Sclerosis is a condition caused by abnormal hardening of a tissue, and in medicine, sclerosis are called in Greek word as hard or usually caused by replacement of normal tissue with the connective tissue. And the sclerotherapy, it is by injecting the unwanted veins with the use of sclerosing agent, targeting the vein that causes shrink and dissolve over a period of weeks as the body naturally absorbs the sclerosing agent. It is used some injections which are given to damage the wall of vein resulting in its occlusion. This is done in case of varicose veins. So the varicose veins, this is the veins resulted to become twisted and enlarged. The commonly condition occurred in the leg, but some of this also occurred in elsewhere part of the body. The treatment for the varicose veins is the use of sclerosing agent such as the sodium urate and the sodium tetradecyl or known as the SES. So first is the sodium urate injection. It is a sterile injection solution that contains sodium salts of fatty acids of cod liver oil and having 50 mg of sodium urate per ml. So the characteristics or the physical characteristics of the sodium urate injection, it is pale, yellowish, and it is a granular powder with slight fishy odor, and it is soluble in water. And the primary use of this is for sclerosing agent and for the varicose veins. Second is the sodium tetradecyl sulfate. It is a generic name for an anionic surfactant with 7-ethyl 2-methyl 4-andecanyl sulfate sodium salt, and the medication called sotradisol, and it is during the procedure of sclerotherapy or by injections of the in the vein that cause of shrinks. And the characteristic of the sodium tetradecyl sulfate, it is detergent-based chemical, and the primary use of this is for sclerosing agent, varicose vein, and also for the spider veins of the leg.